If you've found yourself watching this video, it's likely that you've tried numerous methods and strategies to achieve success socially, but haven't seen the results you desire. Do you know why? It's important to recognize that certain behaviors you're exhibiting might be obstructing your social success. You've probably encountered many videos and people suggesting you shouldn't worry at all about how others perceive you or what they think of you. While there's some truth to this, it's not entirely accurate. There are situations where people's perceptions and thoughts about us do matter. Where do you think feedback comes from? When preparing for a date or a job interview, you dress and act in a specific way. This is because you're aiming to present an appealing and suitable image to whoever you're interacting with. Imagine showing up to a job interview without considering appropriate behavior or dress code. You might not even get through the door. Many of you have fallen prey to personality-based programming. For instance, an introvert is perceived as someone who doesn't talk much, so you might stay silent even when you should speak up. You might also use the Sigma label as an excuse for poor fashion choices, just because it said that Sigmas don't care much about style. Life requires flexibility and adaptability, especially in our ever-changing society. Those who lack these traits tend to fall behind, or will eventually do so. I'm not suggesting you completely alter yourself or adopt a different persona. However, it's crucial to understand that changes are necessary when appropriate. There's a significant amount of unlearning many of you need to undertake. Take an introvert, for example. A quiet person with a poor sense of fashion loses social points, compounded by poor body language and communication skills. For someone who is naturally quiet, it's important to make sure your silent presence is impactful and noticeable. An extrovert, however, can compensate with their energetic social demeanor, provided they execute it effectively. Consider someone like Ronaldo, a globally recognized professional football player who has achieved financial success and established a reputable status. His exceptional status defines him as extraordinary, so how people perceive him matters less. In contrast, if you're not on that level, ignoring certain social aspects will have a greater impact on you. A person with a great physique will still be perceived positively even if they make poor fashion choices, as most things will look good on them. Conversely, someone without an outstanding physique will need to be more mindful of their clothing choices. Here are some extra key points you should put into consideration while you're at it. Key point 1. Additionally, have purposeful eyes. Don't let your eyes wander aimlessly like a child in a fantasy land. Men who observe, analyze, and think have more intentional and sharper eyes than those who merely stare around without focus. This is something people will sense when they look into your eyes. Key point 2. Learn to read the room. If you can't gauge the mood or context, you may come across as strange, disrespectful, or even unintelligent, which might not be the case. Men with strong social skills know how to read the room and adjust their demeanor accordingly. Be aware that you might need to respond differently based on your personality. Your personality is linked to your strengths and weaknesses, so be mindful of how you react in different situations, as it can either benefit or hinder you. Key point 3. Lack of social awareness can be detrimental. If you fail to pick up on social cues or misinterpret social dynamics, others may view you as socially awkward, which lowers your social standing. Key point 4. Distance yourself from those who are socially naive. They may speak, dress, and behave inappropriately, and some may not even be aware of their faults, while others remain ignorant and refuse to learn. They can drag you down with them. As the saying goes, you're the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you associate with low-value individuals, people might assume you're on the same level. However, don't outright dismiss people. Some may need a helping hand. Always try to offer support, but know how to do it appropriately. Key point 5. Show off. When I say show off, I mean truly demonstrate your competence. In this harsh society, many people won't give you the truth. They'll tell you to be humble. You can be the kindest person in the room, but people will always position the most competent individual above you. So, let me tell you something. When the opportunity arises, take it and show people what you've got. Whether it's your intellect, humor, skills, knowledge, or physical prowess, Let it shine. Just be careful not to overdo it, as it might come off as desperation for attention. Key point 6. Always maintain your dignity and never trade it for attention. As a man, your dignity is tied to your self-worth and self-respect. Nowadays, you see too many guys online with no sense of dignity, acting as if they lack common sense. It's ridiculous. Hold yourself to a higher standard and carry yourself with elegance. Never compromise your dignity just to be liked or to gain clout. Notice how I didn't give you specific instructions for every social situation you might encounter. Here's why. Life is full of surprises, and no matter how prepared we think we are, coincidences and unexpected situations will always arise. I'm not trying to turn you into an NPC following a single script like everyone else. If 100,000 people were given the same script, they'd all act the same way, which defeats the purpose. This approach is meant to help you adapt and adjust your demeanor to handle any social situation universally, rather than sticking to rigid behaviors. If you want to elevate your social presence, it's essential to adapt how you present yourself and behave based on how you want to be perceived. By doing so, you can achieve the ideal social presence you aspire to. Be better.